Everyone, hello, everyone. Surprise. This is a surprise live, and the reason why I'm doing this surprise live is because I am so, what's the word? I cannot express how I feel right now. I mean, you can see with the title of this live, Patricia Mashele is like acquitted. And not only is she acquitted, the magistrate at the Bloemfontein Magistrates Court was scathing apparently when the magistrate delivered his judgment regarding this matter. And I'm like, yeah. I mean, everything that the client has said in the past before about the police smearing cases that people did not commit. I mean, here it is. Patricia Mashele and her husband were acquitted today by the Bloemfontein Magistrates Court. And I came across this particular situation when I was busy reading some few articles on the internet, and I came across Biz News. And then I see in big bold letters SAPS whistleblower Patricia Mashele acquitted. And I'm like, really, when did this happen? Is this old news? Did it happen today? What happening? Because I started scrolling looking for all kinds of media houses, your city presses, your Times Live, your everybody. Nobody is reporting on this, and it happened today, hours ago. And if you ask yourself, and the media, what's happening? Because this is breaking news. This is somebody this is somebody whose life was put in danger by crooked police officers. Not only your ordinary police officers, by the way, we're talking big dogs, like big dogs, people that are responsible for provinces, people that are responsible for national, and they did nothing to ensure that number one, Patricia's job is secured. Number two, that the people that she named and shamed when she was whistleblowing are held accountable, basically arrested, prosecuted, and convicted. But no, everybody was protecting everybody and everybody was protecting everybody, but the enemy of the state became Patricia Machele. How is that even possible? How is that? I mean, and plus, why should it even be on Twitter? Because the news is supposed to be the first one to break this news. I had no idea until I saw Biz News. I mean, I'll read the part of the what to call this, the article. Even I'm not gonna be able to read the whole thing because I am not subscribed to their page. But when I saw that, I was like, wait a minute, what am I reading here? And I am so there it is. Acquitted SAP as a whistleblower reveals a secret military training camp cover up. So while she was having this interview with biznews.com, Biz News Television, basically this is what the article says. And if you want to watch the full interview, it is on Biz News. Yeah, it's Biz News Television, I think. But this is how their logo look like. Okay, Biz News. If you're interested to watch the interview, I did watch the interview because I wanted to hear, is this old news? I even scrolled up a little bit to check how long ago was this interview, and it just said to me at the time when I was watching it, 25 minutes ago, when the video was uploaded. I'm like, wait a minute, you telling me this happened today? Turns out, yes, it happened today. And where's the media? What is happening with South African media, people? I want to know because in that interview, Patricia Mashele, she is dropping like bomb after bomb after bombshell regarding everything and everybody involved, including these 95 Libyans who were busy using our soils to train militarily for what? We still want to know. I'm still very much this one. Nobody can get away with it because I've asked before. There was a live that I did before, and I asked, does South Africa still have intelligence? Since the National Intelligence Agency was converted to SASA, I think they call it, SAA, whatever it's called today, things kind of went south. That is why we were able to have that 2020, July 2021 unrest that almost engulfed the country. And then at some point, apparently, there were some Chinese ship that were spotted somewhere in the Indian Ocean on our international waters. And where was the intelligence? But they came and said, no, 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 this is a training, da 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 da. I'm like, in the whole of South China Sea, you'll decide to cross and come to the Indian Ocean, specifically to the South African international waters to train for what do we have that China needs to train for? And not only that, the Gupta's landing in what they call that place again, that military base in Pretoria. Where was the intelligence? Where were the intelligence when 95 Libyan, illegal, mind you, training on our soils for whatever mission? And then not only that, the biggest shock for me, I see the Libyans because for some time there have been rumors going about that ISIS is here and is training in South Africa. I don't know how true all of that, but what happened this weekend when we discovered that we're having Libyans that have a paramilitary camp in our country, then you have to believe the other ones. You just got to believe the other ones. Goodness knows how many are out there. And where is the intelligence? You have to ask. Where was the intelligence when Patricia Melle was busy dropping these cases for the intelligence as well as the South African Police Service to turn them on their heads, hold the people accountable, the ones that she's mentioning in those whistleblowing documents. What? And now whoever was involved want her in prison or dead. That's the kind of police service we have today. They're supposed to be fighting crime, but no, they're comfortable committing those crimes, even heinous as murder. Now, apparently, from what I understand, let me just read the some parts because it's blocked at some point because I am not subscribed to Biz News online newspaper. I think it is. So they say a not guilty verdict was handed down today, the 30th of July, 2024, for South African Police Service SAPS whistleblower Patricia Mashele. After almost 2 years of threats to her life, liberty. This after she had been accused of spreading false allegations, circulating WhatsApp messages, and defamation. In this interview with Biz News, yeah, please go watch that interview, very important. She goes into the agenda behind her malicious prosecution and goes on to reveal how SMSs for former police minister Bheki Cele about secret military training camps were deleted from her phone while it was with the police, and how she was blocked by Zizi Kodwa, who apparently the minister of intelligence. Like, seriously. During his time as deputy minister for state security in the presidency, when she tried to follow up on the information shared on the secret military training camps, she also speaks about how she blew the whistle on firearms meant for a distraction. That one shocked. I mean, my blood ran cold. That the South African police services in the Free State selling state weapons to the black market, and you are wondering where are all these guns coming from that are busy killing innocent South Africans on the streets. The names have been dropped by Patricia Melle in this interview. The people she believed that are responsible and should be arrested, including a member of the National Prosecuting Authority for not registering cases that were pinned against her. And the magistrate was like, you committed a crime, you know that. And a certain, a certain Van der Merwe, who was the investigating officer, whom the judge asked straight on his face, why aren't you in jail for committing fraud because he admitted for having altered some documents. Sounds like stain to me. Wow, guys. Wow. Hey, Government of National Unity, I hope you are paying attention because there's a lot of work for y'all to do. And I've always said this, overhaul the South African Police Service. Let's start from scratch. Let's get rid of all the rotten potatoes, everything in there. Start from scratch, vet each and every person. If they are clean, then you take them to retraining, place them back in their jobs, and then rehire or maybe put out some posts that you are hiring people that are interested in becoming police officers, then take them to training and then give them a job. Because clearly, some people, when they said, I am going to be a police officer, I always thought of this about the traffic cops, particularly in Gauteng. Those that were always interested in becoming a traffic cop, like they will tell their friends, hey guys, me, I want to be a traffic cop. I don't care about the law. All I want, I will be making so much money out of those drivers. Because that's exactly what I think they were telling their friends. Because tell me why every time when you are stopped by a police officer, whether you did something wrong or not, they still want something out of you. Simply because it's the agenda they've always had that I'm not going to be a traffic cop. I am not going to enforce the law. All I'm going to do there is to make money. Criminals in uniform, daylight robbery. We get mugged every single day by people wearing uniforms and supposed to be serving and protecting us. This is crazy. And then she continues, and the article continues to say, she also speaks about, okay, this thing keeps refreshing. She also speaks about how she blew the whistle on firearms made for destruction, but you find them where? Black markets, sold to criminals that are busy hijacking and killing us. Being stolen by police officers and sold back to the black market. Having lost her job in SAPS, Mashele now plans to start her own Whistleblower Anti-Corruption Foundation. Yes, I heard that as well. I hope South Africans are going to support this with everything that they've got. Now, when they speak about stolen weapons, if you remember in the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial, remember Mashele? Who remembers Mashele? The one we all said, this is the one that is telling the truth. You remember Mashele, what he said? That gun, which today is in ballistic testing, the one with a bullet head that was found behind a glass jar in the commando house, it was scheduled for destruction. Remember that? Remember the testimony? And he said he would have known if this gun was still hot. He would have known if this gun was still hot. He would not have scheduled it for destruction. And now it is evidence in the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial. Now they want to pin that gun on who? On accused number 3, as being the person who pulled the trigger, killing Senzo Meyiwa. You see what we are up to again? What we're up against, South Africans? We are all sitting ducks. I've been saying this. All of these, what do you call this? Like hunters to their prey. Who is the weakest link there? And they go for you. Your child, maybe. Maybe your child, your innocent little boy, whom you raise with morality and principles and making sure they don't harm another human being. And there comes the police at the door. They say they came to collect him because he has killed a person. And yet on that particular day, he was probably sitting with you watching television. And you have no power to say, no, it's not my child. Simply because he looks at somewhat a killer or something that we can pin something that is heinous on him. This is crazy. Okay, then the article then asks you to sign up for newsletters as well as some more articles. It's 120 Rand subscription fee if you are interested in getting breaking news and other news from business news. But they do have the YouTube video where they are actually interviewing Patricia Mashale, who is just dropping them gems, guys. She's just Please, I recommend that you go watch. I will try and pin the article, not the article, the video in the description box for you to click and watch and hear how rotten our South African police is. But are we surprised though? Are we surprised that no, Mr. Ramaphosa, Mr. Senzo Meyiwa, come to the front, sir. Please, with due respect, sir. I know you to be anti-corrupt a human being. That's how I've always known you as my premier back in KwaZulu Natal. You got a job to do with the South African police. Listen to Patricia Mashale. Listen to her and take the judgment that was passed today, study it, and then take action. Take action against these officers. What's her name? NDPP. Do something about that prosecutor of yours in there that Patricia Mashale also mentions. She is putting the NPA in disrepute. If this is not cleaned, we are then building a culture where it's going to be no better than Colombia, no better than other African countries where the rule of law it is dealt with through giving cash and then innocent people thrown in jail simply because they opened their mouth and told the truth. Mm-mm. This cannot be, guys. This is not how we envisioned South Africa to go. This is not what I was told South Africa was headed to. This is not what some of our families fought for. Losing their youth, losing their 20s and 30s, even 40s and 50s, because they were fighting a system so that we have a system that is going to work for us today. But no, there are people that are busy dismantling it one bite at a time. And then they want to push South African citizens in a corner to a point where we live in fear. In fear. Because you always have to wonder when you hear sirens, whose stomach is not going to go cold? Whose stomach is not going to go? Because you will wonder, are they coming for? You know very well you did nothing wrong. No, no. Fix this now. Fix this now. In Zulu, we say "Igobese manzi." I don't know if it's still wet, but it's getting dry. Please, can somebody out there rescue the people of South Africa from the police service? They are the enemy of the people. The opposite of what they're supposed to be doing. They're supposed to be the friends of communities, of society, of the country. But they turned us into their enemy. We, the wrong people, the bad guys. They're the good ones. Simply because they want to wear flashy clothes, take European trips to Europe, wear Versace's and the Gucci's and all that stuff at our expense. Every single day when one hops into behind the wheel, you just ask yourself, I don't have that 50 rand. What am I going to come across today? To and from, no peace of mind. And is that how we're supposed to feel as the people of South Africa? As motorists? As civilians? Walking down the street and suddenly now all hell breaks loose. No, no. But then I want to say congratulations to Patricia Mashale. You did not deserve what you went through for the past 3 years. And finally, light is coming and taking over darkness. And you know what's done in the darkness gets revealed by the light. I hope they are going to be dragged for all to see, the people responsible for this that they've done to her. She lost a job. Not even the minister protected her. So, which makes you think, is it worth it to be a whistleblower? Bad things happen when good people say nothing. So they forcing good people not to say anything. Because if you say something, you get shot. If you don't get shot, you are smeared with heinous crimes, baseless crimes, to get you out of the way so that the crooks wearing uniforms can continue making money. All about money. And the funny part about those people, I think they are the most religious people you'll find. Omamfundisi in the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial. And you ask yourself, Njani, how? Well, guys, I saw that and I thought put into a video or just go live so that we can have a conversation about this. Maybe I'm the one who's not looking the right way. I'm using the wrong internet. I have not seen not even the SABC, let alone news app. What's that other one? The one that always lie in the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial report. What is that other one? ENCA. Where are they? Online newspapers, mainstream media. I don't see them. You cannot tell me they did not catch this news. And if they did, why are they not reporting it to the public? Who is this person they're trying to protect? No. The vanguard of our democracy, we don't have it no more. Sad. Anyways, let me read your comments before I leave because I did not want to be too long with this live. Let's see. Ndwasa say I saw her on Twitter. Yeah, because she has to break her own news, unfortunately. Her own news. I didn't see because I'm not on Twitter. I quit Twitter 2020. I remember very well it was the 20th in 2020. 2020. I was like, nah, I'm done with this toxic platform, and I left. So I did not see it. That's why I was saying I was scrolling and I came across Biz News, and I was like, Biz News? And then I was like, no, this caught my attention. This caught my attention. Please go check out Biz News and see that interview. Please, guys, do that. Subscribe if you can too there. Looks like they have some really good videos that they're discussing. Debucho Walter says we don't have intelligence in South Africa and police as well. Look at Senzo Meyiwa case. Absolutely. What happened to our intelligence? I don't know if you remember in the 90s where I think it was the city of Cape Town that used to be bombarded with terrorists. And when it was called National Intelligence Agency, they curbed that thing. Never again did we hear a car bombed or a building was bombed or whatever the case. They tried it in 1996 in the city of Johannesburg. I'm not quite sure how many times. That was curbed as well. That's what you call intelligence. What happened is what's going on? What's happening? How safe when we go to bed every night? How safe are we exactly? Who's probably sending missiles in our direction while we are asleep, and one day they'll succeed? This is scary. National security in this country, it is shaky. And I think those Libyans knew that. Those Mexicans that came to, imagine a whole Mexican coming to South Africa. What did they hear about South Africa? Sooner or later, it's going to be the Colombians. Next thing, South Africa is Colombia. Lawlessness. Police are in the pockets of drug dealers and pushers and manufacturers. There will be territory being fought for. I'm telling you, we would beg the day that not beg the day. We will be like, at least Nigerians were better. I'm sorry, not all Nigerians are drug dealers. Those that do it, We will say, oh, they were better because our streets were at least safe. They were not shooting at each other for territories. You want to get South Americans in South Africa doing that kind of business? You've lost the country. But before you lose the country, you know what these guys do? It's like when you are going to commit a coup d'etat, you first go to the person in charge. I'm not talking about the president. You go to like the army general. Is it an army general? That one that the second in command after the president. You get that person. You get somebody, especially a police commissioner, who's going to bury his head in the sand and pretend as if everything is good. Put them in their pocket, and then you go to commissioners in provinces, put them in the pocket, and then look for troublemakers who are also money greedy, put them in the pocket, and once you got that, the president is powerless. Is it just becomes a ceremonial position, like how it is in Colombia. Ceremonial, and he knows he cannot do anything because the cartel. Sometimes they even fund the presidential run for office to shut up. Is this the future of South Africa? And yet we supposedly have an intelligence agency in our country, in the government? I'm not safe. I do not feel safe. We are not safe. We are sitting ducks, fellow South Africans. This is crazy. Let me continue. Let me continue. Then we have 10V chicken fruit or fruit and veg. That's interesting. Are you a vendor? Okay, the serial number in that gun cannot tell where it's coming from. Apparently, serial numbers do state whether the weapon is that of the state or of an individual. I don't know. I think that's why how it was explained or something like that. So if the serial number doesn't say where, that means it was filed off. Because criminal, there's no way that accused number three will just walk about with a gun with the file still visible. There's no way he will fight it off. So I don't know. No, Nico says SABC is not reporting about this, or I missed it. None of them. None of them. And it's been hours since this judgment was passed down. Hours. Uh-uh. Something ain't right, people. Mpumeleli says, Charlie man amongst men. Yes, remember him? He said that gun was due for destruction. He's surprised that it's now evidence in the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial. And he would have known if the gun was hot. That's what he said. And now Mashele is exposing the guns that are due for destructions. The police steal them and sell them in the black market. I hope that those that sell those guns, the same police, the same criminals that they were sold to, break into their house and then they face their own action. That's stupidity. That's stupidity at its best. How do you sell a weapon that might come back? Because they're not going to know that it was sold. This is a house of a police officer, and he's the one that sold me the same gun that I'm going to be using on his family or her family. That's stupidity at the highest. It's like the people that work at Home Affairs. Dumb, dumb, dumbs. And let's continue. The man of integrity, I salute him, wish be appointed National Commissioner of Police. There I would like to see. Or at least Commissioner of a province, if not national. But looks like in Tlantla Mkhwanazi might be in line for that because everybody's praising him. And I praise him too. He does a pretty good job and he doesn't play. He's a police. That guy is a police, a person that's called to policing. Kulegani says News, yes, News Africa, the one that always lies when they are reporting about Senzo Meyiwa. They say something totally different from what happened in court, and you're like, was I not the one listening? What's happening? That's the one, absolutely. Faith, what's up? What? Hey, Commissioner. Oh, am I really? Thousand apologies. How are you doing? How are you doing, my friend? Finally, when I heard about this earlier on the radio, I was like, wow, remember what I said about 2024? Yes, I do remember. All shall be revealed, and all is getting revealed. So she just reduced it to a radio, possibly maybe just running across it. By the way, Patricia Mashale was acquitted today in the Bloemfontein Magistrates Court. And next news, no, this is not right. Faith continues to say, switch on the radio, no Nico, 10 news that they might repeat it. That is if they do. Fezegile says we need such people like Patricia in our country. I believe there are more that exist but terrified to open their mouth. Especially when what happened with that Indian lady in Lance, was it Lance? The one that they wiped her vehicle with bullets. I forgot what her name was. They're afraid they might be like that because it's clear the people that do these crimes, they want to send a message to anybody that is a potential whistleblower that try it. You next. What kind of evilness is this? There are kidnappings happening in South Africa. That is not a crime. That's for sure. South Africans can be the most poorest of the poor, but to go and kidnap a person for ransom, that's never been our thing. That's not our thing. And I keep saying it, not our thing. It's coming from people who were trained militarily to do this. They know how to stake, they know how to study your time and your schedule, they know how to follow you without you even realizing, and then they attack. They know what words to use when they have you so that your family pays. That South Africans in general, we were never what's the word, constricted to be in the army. None of us just walk into the SADF and say, "Hey, I want to be a soldier," and it's not our thing. It never been our thing. You become a soldier because you want to, or maybe it's a calling to be a soldier. This is not our thing. And yet we have a police force, supposedly intelligence as well. And this crime just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Right now, they're even kidnapping blind people, people living with disabilities. Somebody probably in your family who lives with disabilities, they are a target of these kidnappers. I'm just letting you know. Sitting ducks, the people of South Africa. Sitting ducks. Oh my goodness. I don't know anymore. Angelina said, I just saw this on Biz News. Yes, I was also I saw the article and then I saw a video. I clicked on it and I watched the entire 19-minute interview. Yes, Angelina, you're absolutely right. I'm encouraging everybody to check it out when you are done here. I read about her some months ago while she was in hiding. Imagine if you are hiding from the police who's supposed to protect you, but they want to kill you simply because you blew the whistle. You wanted things done properly and you deserve death. Make it make sense. No, Ramaphosa. You and Mr. Mkhunu need to work together in overhauling the South African police force. Mm-mm. No, 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 no. This lady and her family went through a lot. For her bravery, more will come. Watch the space. Well, we are now aware of what's going on. Kulekani says, Mabalande Untlanhla Mkhwanazi from KwaZulu Natal to be National Commissioner. Bakoshe umam enji bafake ugating into ezikonda. Yeah. Or maybe abaswape ugating nona kuza nomam enji. Because no, these departments, we definitely need the police. We need a cool head so that he can work systematically in getting like push out all this rubbish and dirt that does not serve our communities, instead causing havoc and pain, like systematic. And then you need a radical in the defense, somebody who's like, hey, I would use it. We are trained, the army is trained not to be gentle. They are not subject to Section 49 of the Criminal Procedure Act, if I'm correct. Don't shoot to kill. You must use minimal force. The army, they are trained to kill. That's what they are trained to do. And you need a Gaten McKenzie there, most definitely. Yes, responsible as well, but you need somebody who's going to make the criminals fear from the stomach. Like, I'm not going to deal with Gaten McKenzie. Then we have Andy Swa who says, hello, family. Hello, Andy Swa. And Twasa says that gun brought back unsealed. Absolutely. Hmm. What's his name? Is it Peter, sir? He needs to ask for the original seal of that gun. But of course, they're going to lie to him. They're going to mislead him. But he also needs to hear or listen to the what do you call this, SAP 13 store captain, which was Mchali, and then listen to the state ballistic expert, and then ask the relevant questions about the original seal and its number. Crazy. Absolutely insane, this country. Southern African boy. Yes, serial number show if the firearm is civilian, military, or police. There we go. So if it's filed off, it means it belongs. I would think if I commit a crime with a gun and then it's of a civilian, I don't think I would care to file it off. If it's caught, they go to the owner. He's the one who would have to clear their name. That's like evil at its highest. But if it's military or police, of course you're going to file it off because now the investigation will have to go into the SAPS. Where in the SAPS does this gun come from? And then you have to hold the station commander accountable. So clearly they're told, guys, file off this stuff so that it doesn't come back to us. Elizabeth says, can Tefu also be released as well? I was thinking about Tefu while I was listening to Patricia Mashale. I was like, I hope something like this also happens for Tefu. But Tefu needs a investigative journalist who's going to dig into his matter and see where all of these come from. There's always a root cause. Who does this person? What were they protecting? And why Tefu had to suffer the way he did? And by the way, Patricia Mashele says she is definitely, since she's acquitted of all charges, she is suing the state. Not only she's suing the state, I loved it when she said she is also going to be suing people individually that are responsible for her loss of income, defamation of character, malicious prosecution, you name it, everything. She's going after every one of them before she goes for the state. And I was like, that's exactly how I would have done it too. I would start with individuals. I don't want to hear excuses that, hey, it was my duty. The Police Act does not say you must smear a case or a criminal matter on an innocent person. It doesn't say that. It does not say that. So I will go after them myself. If it was I was her, I would have done the same thing. Absolutely done the same thing. Then we have Faith who says, Atlantis high-ish. That tongue just went, look. That tongue just slipped, girl. Faith says, I hope she's safe because whistleblowers have died, some in front of their loved ones. When you speak the truth, you will be hated. I remember in the beginning, they said to say that she is sick, attention seeker. Yeah, wow. Faith continues to say, therefore also coming out, watch the space. This, yeah, like I said, he really needs this to be blown by somebody who take it somewhere to somebody who can go right into this matter, like deep inside, so that we get rid of these rotten apples. People that's supposed to serve and protect us, they are committing these things that they're supposed to be serving and protecting us against. It's not even ironic. Edward says even the accused in Senzo Meyiwa's case will be acquitted soon. Well, that one is clear as daylight. Clear as daylight, unless the judge has other agendas. The judge said that he was not part of the cooking. My stay is not on what on you, Edward, but it's on what he said, the judge. Like, and also when he was busy threatening Gomezul, I was like, well, your actions speak louder than words. You may have made Mr. Gomezulu apologize, but millions of South Africans were watching and they were like betting it. Like, is this a judge? He is just disappointed of Baloy that praises the many that he he protected once. He will never jeopardize his career that he built for so many years by withholding documents. Bonjan Mabunje. How is it now? Wow, come on. Naval Chetty, what's up, Naval? What's up, Naval? Hey, after watching that interview, I couldn't help thinking of the police officers involved in Senzo's case. You know, you cannot help it when you are listening to Patricia Melle. You cannot help it not to think about what is happening in the Senzo Meyiwa case. You cannot. You actually see it. Like, now it's making, not that it now making, it always made sense. It's just that we couldn't necessarily put our finger on it, but we knew something isn't right. When Mashele speaks, you're like, this sounds so familiar. Seems like they are all cut from the same cloth. I think so. It's like, have you ever called the police van on 10,999 at 10,111? When they don't come the first hour, the second hour, the third hour, the fourth hour, the fifth hour, the sixth hour, in most cases, they come around the fifth and a half hour because the shift is about to end and they need to be seen to have done something overnight. There needs to be something because crimes are being committed. There's no way that 10,111 did not call this police station. So they come and then guess what the excuse is? Then there are some of them. I'm telling you, my house was broken into, and I called. They came 5 hours and 30 minutes, and one of them had in there. Yeah, so it was even dry. He didn't notice. And you know what excuse he gave me? Since you can see it's raining, it was the beginning of summer, it was raining. As you see, as it's raining, we only have one van. And then not long after that, I went home to KZN and there was a crime that was committed in my neighborhood. 10,111 was called several times. Again, they came 5 hours and 30 minutes later. And again, one of them had imbi drying out here. And then the excuse was, one van is working. All the other ones are broken. So you can tell that this is something that is done across the country. Why they do not respond immediately? 10 111, what do you call this, allocates them a case. 10 111 itself, the center, the call center. Ah, no, something needs to be done with the South African police service, including the call center, the 10 111. No sense of urgency, no sense of anything. And yet, South Africans continue to pay taxes so that, yeah, I know they also pay taxes. So before somebody says they also pay, I know they pay taxes as well, but none compared to what the larger pool of taxpayers of this country pay to the taxmen so that they have their salaries at the end of the day. These, I call them tax thieves. The men and women in blue uniform are tax thieves. I know before you come for me, there are good officers in there. But by the look and sound of things, they are a drop in the ocean. This cannot be, guys. This cannot be. This cannot be. Lulama, what's up? Hey guys, it's been a while. Yes, indeed. How are you doing? Let's see. Kolegani says, guys, I stopped following the Senzo proceedings a while ago. And you are missing out, I must tell you, because it's about to wrap up and it's getting hot. Hey, come back, come back. Remember Rose in the Titanic telling Jack to come back? That's me. Come back, come back. Please come back. Come back. Has Malloy really been exposed? Ooh, you're gonna have to come and check it out yourself. Possibly, might we even get arrested inside court, like how Tefo was done. I dream of that day. Come back so that you witness that, if it ever happens. Crystal says, "Hi, Clances. Is her life not again in danger now?" I think it would be dumb of anybody to kill her at this point. It will be the dumbest move anybody would make because she already dropped names. Take all of them for suspicion of murder. Let them clear their own names the one way or the other. I don't think they are going to take that chance anymore, especially now that the court was scathing on the state, like scathing apparently. But yeah, but we will never know. We never know with these crooks. Honestly speaking, you'll never know. William says that they will fall one by one. Absolutely. God is at work this year. You know, like he came up to show off that it's time to deal. It's time to deal. What you do in darkness, guys, it always comes in the light. That's what I know for sure. That's what I know for sure. Will says the next is advocate for Ndanzi and the four co-accused soon. Soon. Faith says Shrek. Shrek is my favorite animation. Come on, leave Shrek alone. I get hurt when people use Shrek. Shrek is. I love Shrek. Okay, Shrek one. Yes, leave Shrek alone. Shrek, Vaseline, Constable, Yebo. Subsequent. My friend, what's happening? And others are going to be exposed too. Yeah, it's happening already. It is already happening. And I support it full. Lundy says that the time has come. Definitely, darkness and despair will not go on forever. Absolutely, our God does not sleep nor slumber. Yeah, it's okay. You feel good for the moment until it starts happening to you. And in most cases, hey, no, no ancestor turned its back on you, the one. You, the one. People always, God doesn't like me. Oh, I'm not in God's favor. But what did you do? Go apologize. Admit. Go on your knees and say, I admit this is what I've done. Release yourself. Ngeke bafethu. Kolega, Kolega, all this. I didn't notice good today, but my goodness, I don't read. Awu Dumakude. Awu, kwenzekani ezweni? Yeah, Shangi is Dumaguete, guys. That's the mother surname. Dumaguete is then it's Tagazelo. So this is the mothership. All the respects and the praise, yeah, in our um clan. Anyways, let's continue. Uh, Kulekani says Baloy could face sanctions from the court, including fines and contempt of court charges or other penalties. I hope more than that, defeating the ends of justice, you name it, including taxpayers' money being wasted. He needs to pay it back. Come on. He has to. This is to deter future misconduct and to maintain the integrity of the judicial process. Must also go for the pension. Go for the pension as well. That way, people, but they'll be like Shaka Spear. I'm telling you, if you go for the pension, people will not commit crimes. Go for the pension. Reduce the salary by taking the person back to training. Every time they're accused of something and they're at a certain position, demote them, take them to training, put them back to 9,900 rand a month, and then they have to work themselves up after they've learned the harsh lesson. But go for the pension. Go for the pension because you wasted state's money, and the state now will go into your pension fund and take what you have wasted. Let's go there. Faith says, Utin uyinden. Hi, man, to Why are those things called? The, the rules. What do you call them? I mean, then no, I know I'm a coconut people, but okay. Anyways, and I said in big, big is the stuff that. I, thank goodness I don't have to say, "Mom, go get your Zulu teacher, get your change back," because I never had one, except when I was an adult. Yeah. Norma says, "Why did you jump off my comment?" I didn't see your comment, Norma. Trust me, I am reading. You know, the way I'm scrolling this slow so that I don't miss anybody's comment. Maybe you said there's a word that you used. Oh, I know now which word you used. You used that man, the one with the G. Apparently, that name is kind of like banned by YouTube. But this time around, it came through. But if you use a certain term, some terms I've filtered them so that I don't have to see those people's comments. That way, I'm protecting yourselves, also protecting my mental health as a creator. So please forgive me, because I am going like one by one like this. I'm not skipping anybody. Okay, Norma says, okay, you ask me why I jumped, and then you continue to say, devil has suffered enough. He must be released. Worse, his family is suffering just because of stupid kidney. I think that's why you were hidden by YouTube. Belta, hello, Belta, how you doing? I feel sorry to have family, even they were scarred, definitely traumatized, traumatized. And Senso's mother, I am a mother myself. Ngiyaye ngizwe kuluma isisu ngiyajwe. We'll take this word by syllables. Ngijwenzeka. Did I say it right? But let's continue, and then we'll just skip the other part. But one day, impendulo izoba khona noma kanjani. Yeah, definitely. First generation coconut. If you are new on this street called YouTube, especially the clan, yeah. when apartheid ended and white schools started taking, yeah, I was one of those where I was the only black kid and my brother for a long time. And those schools, they never taught isiZulu. It was English, Afrikaans, Latin, Italian. In some schools will be French, German, all that stuff that we don't use in South Africa. Except for Afrikaans and English, of course. Let's go on. I think I read Belta. Who's next? Naval. Naval says, unfortunately, Clantis, you will not find those five good police officers in one place. That's the thing, though. Hey, it would be nice to say and point at a police station and say that police station right there does the job and it gets the job done. That's why this community is so safe. Children can still play and go to the shop even when it's dark and nobody's going to touch them because that police station right there has got good men and women in blue. There's none. But back in the day when I was growing up, there were such police stations. They just disappear in the mass of rubbish SAPS officers that we have. And it just so happens it's too many of them. Kolegani says, I noticed on news Rata saying Baloy need to explain to JP Mlambo the reasons why the case is dragging. I was like, wow, something is cooking there. But then what cut off his wings to end the case himself as a judge? It's not like he doesn't have the power invested in him either by the constitution or court rules. I don't get it. Faith says that you are correct in the one on the I in isiXhosa Zintongo. Oh, okay. I'm sure even in Zulu, something around it in talk because it sounds a little bit familiar as well. Belter says, what I am thinking about Baloy and his gang, I think they are not sleeping. They're working tirelessly to cook more ndotana. Come next Monday. I will not be surprised. In fact, I don't know why I was even surprised yesterday when Baloy introduced what do you call this? A correctional service somebody. I'm like, you are still bringing new people. These new people now you're going to impose on the defense. The defense now will have to ask for postponement to go and study the what do you call this? The new affidavit. And then they ask for postponement, and then the 30% will say, yeah, the defense always asks for postponement, postponements, and they don't look at what just happened. That means more postponement. And the longer this case stays in the court roll, this no, I don't know why I was surprised. I was like, Baloy, you still have a new person coming through. I know. And what would this person be saying? A correctional service on the basis of a prisoner possibly they paid or threatened or made a deal with that if you say this, we will reduce your sentence or your family when we give them this money, they are going to live well. Uh-uh. Mm-mm. We trust nothing from Baloy at this point. Zilch. Nada. Nil. Noto. Luto. But to say, sorry, Clancy, I was trying to say ngendlela okwenzeka ngayo. Oh, okay. Because I was like, I know I'm bad in Zulu, but come on. What? I got you, man. Thank you. Thank you. Guys, I think this is it that I just wanted to bring to your attention as the clan that Patricia Mashele is acquitted of all charges that were laid against her that were false, simply because some people in high places that have been committing crimes in the police service wanted her silent or dead. And she had to run for her life and her entire family. So the Bloemfontein Magistrates Court today, it acquitted her of all charges, which is, I'm happy for her. I am super, super, super happy for her. Congratulations, Patricia. Continue blowing that whistle and continue to encourage and also give courage to other people that see things and they don't like how things are done and they are not following the what it calls the letter of the law. Encourage them, tell them. I hope you open a YouTube channel as well and tell stories in your YouTube channel, because that's another way you can raise funds for your foundation, and let people know and give tips, give ideas to people, and also be the port where other whistleblowers may want to contact you and say, listen, can I give you this stick and then you do your thing? Get a YouTube channel, girl. Get a YouTube channel and just follow the community guidelines to ensure that the channel is does not get into any kind of trouble with YouTube. Do that. Trust me, we are going to support you 100% with views and ads and everything else so that your foundation is solid and successful. And then we get rid of this cancer in our government departments. I also heard you talked about private, but I'm mostly concerned about where my tax money goes to. You see, so please do that. That is if you ever come across this live. Thank you. Elf Mash, what's up? Elf Mash says correctional service person is the one who confiscated Ndanzi's for. If you go watch the live of the trial of the 13th of September 2023, come back and tell me what Baloy told the court. Ndanzi's cell phone, I'll tell you what he said. Ndanzi's accused number three cell phone, he was two cell phones when he was arrested were confiscated from him on the 16th of June 2021. Is it 2021? Yeah, 2020. Jiggy Jiggy now, it was now confiscated by some liar that is gonna come and say they're the one I get. Go, it's there. It's there. I even put a short. The short I did deliberately made it vague. I made it, but I did put the date on the short, 13 September 2013. This was advised to me by a fellow clan member. I think it's Tumeka. I went and I checked and then I listened to the whole thing. Baloy submitting to the court that two cell phones were confiscated from accused number two when he was arrested on the 16th of June. At what point now suddenly it just got confiscated? How many months later? 8 months later in his cell. Crazy. Daniel says ungindlulile. Oh, unghluli. Now I know Daniel. I even though mina nawe same WhatsApp group ngeke. You and me same WhatsApp group, and you just make me feel better about myself. Neville says, I hope Gomezulu starts off with more cooking from the state, Milord. Oh, but then yeah, then let's see how it all goes. Catherine says, love you, Clatters. Love you right back, Catherine. I'm telling you, when I say that, I mean it. I really mean it. Love your Clatters, you are not jealous. You encourage other people to do good and right. That will be the hand of my mom. I must give flowers where they belong. Like, listen, if you are bad things are gonna happen to you. If you do bad things to people, bad things are going to happen to you and your offspring. Ever since I heard that, I was like, straight and narrow, where are you? And I found the straight and narrow. And I will always promote good over evil. Always. Then we have Jose or Jose. What's up? What's up? What's up, Jose? I'm gonna call you Jose. I think it for me kind of like makes more sense. I not to say anything that is wrong with Jose either. The current CJ is tarnishing the image of the judiciary in South Africa. He must retire and things must urgently be sorted out. Isn't now the new Chief Justice at that, what's her name again? Ah, come on. There's a new chief justice. I know that Zonda needs to what do you call this? Complete his term, and then she takes over. But anyways, when a chief justice term does end 12 years later, he goes to retirement. He's retired because that's the peak of the judiciary ladder. You've reached the stars basically, so there's no going back down. The only time probably you may be used for commissions of inquiry. You may also be used for other stuff that they may need you for. But I think you are encouraged to stay away from politics because you're still CJ nonetheless. Once a CJ, always a CJ. Like once a president, always a president. Mm. L says, I saw that show. L. Jose says CJ Zondo is captured and is damaging the political stance in South Africa. Well, to be honest with you, like I said, I stopped watching the news a long time ago, so I wouldn't know how exactly he is captured, what he has done, because I've been hiding my head in the sand for almost 4 years now. So even the what do you call this? The state capture commissions, I couldn't bother. I was not watching them at all. So I wouldn't know how exactly all of that was happening because I decided in January 2020 that I am not going to watch the news no more. I'm deleting Twitter. I'm not gonna watch the news. I unsubscribed to DSTV and I started watching YouTube and I was just watching YouTube. And eventually I was like, why don't I start my own YouTube channel as well? And that's why we are here today. So if I did not quit the news, I don't think I'll have a channel today. Then we have Queen of South Africa, My Majesty. Isn't Her Majesty? Yeah, Her Majesty. Mhlekazi, why the defense doesn't want Steyn to come and clear the accusation of the fraud they want to block Baloy application? It makes sense if you think about it because we already have what they suspect a crooked judge. And then when Steyn comes to clean some few things, he might believe it. So that's why I think they're objecting because they already know what kind of judge we are having. I think it's more on the judge than it is the recalling of Steyn, if I'm making any sense. But even yourself, Queen, if you were following this case, the judge's actions were quite clear where he stands. So there could be a strategy. Again, the collusion that the defense had thrown at Judge Rata, making him so angry, the plausibility of it is there. We cannot ignore that, whether it's true or not, but it's showing that. Maybe if he is colluding with them, maybe he's the one who advised the state that recall this man so that he can straighten the record. The state has straightened the record, they would lie, and then when they are caught on the lie, they come back and they correct the record. We've seen that several times in this case. So maybe that's the reason why Steyn is going to be called, and the defense is like, all to surprise them. That is why Mashele said, why don't you make the application now so that they can prepare for cross-examination? But no, he wants to do it when Steyn is in court so that he catches them by surprise, so they don't find things like they found with the Excel and PhD PDF. That's my thinking, my two IQs. I could be wrong. Neville says that this cow run. But I Neville, why? Guys, I need to go, but you guys are making me laugh. This cow rat is going to use apartheid style judgment on the five accused. That is why I think the difference is blocking this Steyn return thing. Because listen, I don't think the state, I mean the defense needs to call anybody. The PDF said it all. The Excel said it all. That's it. Why must the defense call anybody? Because the greatest witness was the PDF that was a mess tampered with, revealing the truth. So I don't see why anymore. I don't see, honestly. Rosa, how are you doing? It's been a long time. How are you doing? Hashtag release advocates Masilela. Malisela. Therefore, indeed. Justice Maya, indeed, Naval. Yes, that's the new Chief Justice now. We have a new Chief Justice in Justice Maya. So, yeah, first female Chief Justice in South Africa, 30 years later. Naval says she starts 1st September 2024. Thank you, Naval, for that. Yes, indeed. That's great. I hope she is different. I hope she will restore the integrity of the Constitutional Court, judiciary, just like how Mogoeng held it down for good 12 years. He held it down. He also reminds me of Pius Langa as well as Arthur Chaskelson. Who else after Chaskelson? I think it was Pius Langa. Though they held down the reputation of the Constitutional Court and the judiciary. Once upon a time, I was a person who believed that you cannot corrupt the judiciary. You can corrupt the magistrates and the police and everybody, but not the judiciary. I'm talking now the high courts, Supreme Court of Appeal, Constitutional Court, and other special courts. I thought they I wasn't engaged, but clearly the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial is like, Cleanses, you are wrong. Sometimes I thank God for the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial being publicized like this, honestly speaking. Also say, I still maintain the judge president is, let me tool before kindergarten. I don't know. At this time, I mean, I don't know. Because I say these cookers are real amateurs. Like for real. I agree with you. You cannot tell me, as a seasoned police officer, you don't know that at some point during the trial, these things that you are presenting as witness or evidence, they are going to be rebutted with the real information, like AVLs, phone records, you name them. You cannot. Then you're amateur. If you're not an amateur, you were never trained as a police officer. How did you get the job? Wow. Let's see. Tidi Anna, hello Tidi Anna, hello Tidi Anna. Good evening. How are you doing? Zimkita says, "You are right, my brother. I wish I wasn't. I wish we lived in. It cannot be utopia. I agree, and we cannot get our ideal country. I agree. There'll be mishaps here and mishaps there, but to be brazen and blatant the way things have been, no, it cannot be. It cannot be. I refuse. Also says if a 50-year experience is like Rata's one ngiyayibonga namsham ngikezela izandla. No, thank you. Don't come to me. I don't want you either. Mlambo Designs, what's up? Is this live? Yes, you are live. It's a surprise live. That is after Patricia Mashale was acquitted, and I thought, hey, I'm not seeing this in the media. So when you don't see something in the media, you become the media. So that's why we're here. Hey, fam, how are you doing? How are you doing, Mlambo? It's good to see you. Lady C says, Matavin doesn't know what he wants. So one day Sibanda is on voicemail. The next day he is a radiologic. Ladies, as I say, it's a long time in Declan. It's been hectic at work. Oh, okay. Hey, Priorities, work. You can always go to the videos at the later stage, but work, priority. Do I put the food on the table and pay the bills? So I understand. I understand. You are excused. Lambo says, "Hey fam, what's up, Lambo? What's up, Lambo?" See, Anna says, "I am well, just watching and reading the comments. The clan. You guys have a huge sense of humor, and I love you all for that because I love laughing. Can you tell? Can you tell?" Then we have Mbusi who says, "Sengifisa ukwazi ukuthi ukube kwaqhubeka uJudge Maumela ngabe uliphethe kanjani leli cala." And from what I hear, he was quite feisty himself. That is why he and everywhere butting heads. And he would drink tea. I don't understand. What's wrong drinking tea during a procedure? Because if it what calms him and what sharpens his intelligence, I don't see that being a situation to make a big deal out of. It's like accused sitting on top of the dock benches, on top of it, and then some warden having a problem. It's the same thing to me. I still don't get it. But maybe there's a court rule that disallow him to drink beverage, because if Rata can drink water during delivering a judgment and shaking, why can't Maumela drink his cup of tea? He's an old man. Old people love tea. I'm beginning to love tea myself. And look at my hair. What's wrong with that? Anyways, let's continue. Naval says, "I ask myself that question when I think of Constable Zungu. Who employed that guy in the SAPS?" You know what? I will tell you my suspicion. I don't think he went to training, just like the other officer. There was another officer that came. I think it's like one of the first responders. There was this officer who he didn't speak like a police officer that went to training. That the one that did not want to disclose his matric, if he has a matric or not. Remember him? I am thinking, I think his surname is Mtet. And in my head, I was like, Natim Tetwa was the Minister of Police at the time of the killing of Senzo Meyiwa. Or at least I think. Maybe he was no longer, but it was around that time. How many cousins, family members, you name them, that he shoved in the police force? Because a lot is playing itself out. You can tell when somebody went to training, you can tell when somebody went to university, and you can tell when somebody went to a community college. You can tell. And you can also tell when a person only has high school, high school leave. What do you call this? That other, when you're a high school leaver. And you can also tell a dropout as well. You can tell these things. And you can tell that one of those police officers spoke like an untrained police officer. And that wasn't Tedwa for me. So how did he get the job then? South Africa. So it's only Vutivi. And I hope I'm not saying anything wrong again this time. Like, yeah. Then we have Vero who says, "A long time fam, how are you doing, Vero?" Yeah, indeed. I know you haven't been around. Yeah, how are you doing? I hope you're good. Jose says, "Embusi law, self, see, Gesali file Bubutongo." Oh, okay. Ooh, coconut people. I think I'm even deteriorating as time goes on. Jose says, "Clan, the MSM is not reporting on important news or the mainstream media. They only care on the news that bothers their masters." We're beginning to see this one day at a time. You remember when BEE, those politicians start buying media houses? That's where everything went down south. Tidi Anna says drinking tea is just a similar to drinking water. Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That doesn't mean the man is not paying attention. So now why punishing him for drinking tea? It makes no sense to me. Tidi Anna continues to say, I feel like getting under the world when I hear Mtetwa Nati's name being mentioned. Ooh, I was frustrated under his leadership with the police. He reminded me of Charles Ngakula when he was minister, the same department, but back then it was called Safety and Security. South Africa's security went under his watch. Home Affairs went under his wife's watch when she was Minister of Home Affairs, Unosiviwe Mapisa Ngakula. Two most useless ministers we ever had in this country. Useless to South Africans. That's where all things went south. When Charles Ngakula was the Minister of Safety and Security, which is police today. All like boom. And then when Natim Tata took over, I was like, I'm trying to weigh between him and Bekicelo, who's the worst. Yeah. Lady C says, so what's gonna happen to Section 205s? Because this judge person was so not interested when Ngomezulu brought it up. I really gave up on this judge Rata Fanta. But the 205 is spoken for themselves, especially that of the accused. Now is the ones of the people were in the house. Ngomezulu will get them because he made it on record. He can't deny it, Urat. He can't. So I think he sanctioned them. Neville says, true counters, you can tell a 30%, but don't be fooled by the way a person speaks. I understand that they are educated fools as well. That part I know very well because I've come across a lot of them. And some of them even hold a master's degree, and you're like, how did you get it? How on earth? Then you understand that some people they pass by cramming, and some people pass by comprehension, and some people pass by being pushed. So I get what you're saying. I get you 100%, Naval. I'm with you there. You'll be surprised that that person is a doctor, lawyer. Don't judge, okay? But Dom is Dom. I know, that's what I'm saying. I know. Bro, when this world will teach you a lot of things, like a lot of things. And then you'll find a person who doesn't even have a degree. Makes the like, wow. That is what I call intelligent. I don't believe a person is born intelligent. I believe it's an accumulation of knowledge. And once the knowledge has been accumulated, then the skill of critical thinking then comes and covers that and therefore presents you as intelligent. That's my belief. You can come for it all you want. I am not moved or shaken by that because there's no child that comes out and the moment they start speaking, they know what is MC squared. MC, what's the E equals to MC squared? No child knows that. You have to teach that child that. No child, the moment they start speaking, know what 2 times 2 is. That is an accumulation of knowledge. And as if you nurture that child's capabilities, then the child will be encouraged to be more curious. And the more the child is curious, the more they learn. And the more they learn, that's when they start asking questions. And when they get the answers or make their own answers, that is then what critical thinking. And critical thinking equals intelligence. Not those people say, let's leave it to who? And my favorites are the people who ask, are you a lawyer? Are only lawyers that supposed to have a brain? Even though I may not have studied law, or I have not studied medicine, or did not study accountancy, but if 1 plus 1 is not equals 2, does that need a an accountant? Sometimes I just don't get it with some people, honestly. So yeah, I'm with you there. I'm with you there, Naval. I 100% agree with you. Thank you, Cletus, for being honest on our ministers. Uh, it's a feeling I've always had. And the other most useless one that made me so angry was Ngonde Balfour. You remember when South Africa went into democracy, there were all kinds of sports that were introduced to South Africa. Basketball, NBA was going to plant its head, one of its head, I think it was like an African headquarters. And they planted, but if you go to Hillbrow, Johannesburg, downtown Joburg, Best Valley, even as far as what's that, the Jewish suburb, basketball courts everywhere. And Pepsi was the sponsor of the NBA when they were. And then when we were going to bid for World Cup 2006, the first thing that Ngonde Balfour did was to tell the world that South Africa is a soccer country. No any other sport is allowed. Imagine even baseball, that the base, what is it called again? The what do you call the league? I remember my brother was actually scouted by LA Lakers, and he was chosen to because he's tall and he's good in basketball as well. I also played basketball. I was pretty good too. I've been told several times. Magic Johnson came to me when we were in Soweto and said, "You are the future NBA player." Saying to me, "Yes, this guy." Then Wonder Balfour came and shut it all down. And all NBA, Pepsi, you name them, left South Africa. And we were left with soccer. And even the NBA people themselves said, this is great because South Africa is placing itself where South African basketball enthusiasts may end up in the NBA in the future, meaning a lot of South African will be playing in the NBA today and making millions. But Ngonde Balfour snatched that bread out of her mouth and said, soccer. Maybe that's why I have an attitude towards soccer to this day because of that. I don't have a problem with us bidding for the World Cup, but your short-sightedness and killed so many dreams. Today we have white elephants. If you go to Hillbrow and you go to Berea, Yeovil, Observatory, yeah, that's the one that I wanted to say. Observe where there are basketball, but Best Valley, if you go there, there's basketball courts. All white elephants, where now today they are turned into soccer fields or like a demi soccer ground. Short-sighted leaders, useless. Jose says, Fagazile fan. Also says, also says, enable like Gininda's English from Harvard. You know, Harvard was actually my first option to go to. And to think that you are liking his English to Harvard, it breaks my heart. No ways. Take him to Oxford or Cambridge. Until he says knowledge accumulated and applied is wisdom. Some people are intelligent but not wise. Right. Wisdom, I believe, it's accumulated according to age. Because at my age, you cannot say I'm wise. I'm not at that point yet. That's again, that's me. That's me. Age will define how you see things in a perspective that a younger person may see in a different way. That's just how I think of it. Bonga says I went back to 11 September to listen to Zungu's evidence. I don't understand how he typed statement was admitted without written. Right, that's why he had to go to KZN. Right, he had to go to KZN for the handwritten statement. Wow, things are done abnormally, as Mr. Nisi would say. Nomfuneko says, who remembers the advert? Are you free or are you dumb? I remember that. I remember. Oh, those were the good days when we had great ads. Remember when ads were entertaining and then you actually did go and buy the item? The witness, the what do you call it? All figures of speech would be included. Today, you watch an ad, it's like eating cardboard. But then again, I understand. Standard of education. This best describes the current state of our nation. Are you free or are you dumb? Yeah, of course. When you are a critical thinker, you are a free thinker. But if my you are, of course. Nelly said, "Why?" Nelly said, "How are you, Nelly, sir?" Jose is laughing. He's laughing at Jose. Busi laughing. Aibo. Kambe kwakukhona ungonde. Yeah, yeah. Emhlabe. Yes, ungonde buff. That man killed. Today, our Olympic team would be very big. Today, if he did not say that nonsense, I will never forget it. The way NBA packed up and left, they never returned. Today, South Africa will be like the Philippines, will be like Singapore, will be like Japan, because those are the countries that embrace, you may say it's American sport, but it turned a lot of boys into multi-millionaires today, playing in the baseball league, playing in the basketball league, playing in the NFL. All of them were here. They saw us. But Ngonde Bafo was like, pack your bags and go. Remember that ad as well? And they left. They left. Never turned back. My brother did not go to LA Lakers. He got a letter that canceled him. The way he was shattered. Unbelievable. LA Lakers, my brother was good at basketball. Good. Man, sick. William says, Judge Tubman think like a dropout. He thinks like a dropout. And act like a dropout and talks like a dropout and throws his hands around like a dropout. You went for you, mate. Bonga says we had a basketball show on SABC One called Slam, but unfortunately, Slam Dunk came years after Wonder Balfour made that statement. If you, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You see Elof Street, if you go along Elof Street all the way almost towards the end, I forgot what Waverly, I think it's called, is it Waverly? There's a basketball stadium that was built by the NBA for us. It's there. Competitions used to be held there. The basketball court. It's almost built like a dome, but it's like a worm-like dome. We used to compete there. That's where my brother was scouted. Man, guys. No, Slam Dunk came later on. Like by the time Slam Dunk came, we were all heartbroken. Some of us were not even. But if it came around along that time, at night, I remember as a teen, I didn't go to sleep, and I was still in primary school. I would watch what do you call this, Chicago Bulls. That was my team, and then every time Chicago Bulls, the day of jersey number 23, you know that is. I don't have to tell you. I don't have to tell you about Michael Jordan. Would sleep at 4 in the morning, and you are waking up at 6 to school. All those dreams were killed in a like snap of a finger. Short-sighted leaders. And not that soccer is bad. I don't know what soccer has done for many people in South Africa, but those other ones, it shows people like national, like foreign nationals that play in the NBA, in the NFL, as I forgot the baseball one, what it's called. Their lives transform. They transform the lives of their families and their communities. You name it. The soccer they are bragging about, they are slowly killing it. Yeah, it's leadership. Lack of leadership. William, I meant to judge. Oh, got you. I got you. Lady C says, I really don't look forward to Sir Gininda. Subsequently, he had a long time to prepare for court. His Oxford essay is gonna turn into Oxford short stories. Oh my goodness. And he can go on shame. Pointless submissions. Noza says when Baloy lies, you will believe he is being honest. That's how sick are these people. That's how sick these people are. Can a person go that far with lies? Hey, we've seen it, Shem. It's possible. Naval says, yeah, Atlantis, we were all young at one time. Before you know it, people are going to start calling you uncle. Hey, for me, it started when I was called Razo. Ooh, the first time I heard being called Razo, I was like, how old am I? I was 25 at the time. And now it's go. It's at this point, it's at Baba. The first time when I heard somebody called, I was like, oh, Baba. Crazy people, I tell you. Guys, I have to go now. The comments just keep coming. The comments keep coming. I have to go. Thank you all so much. Thank you for submitting and the laughter we've had. I mean, this was supposed to be like literally a 10-minute live. Now it turned into 1 hour, 36 minutes. But thank you guys. Thank you so, 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 so much. I appreciate you. Let's see each other again next time. Good boy. Love y'all. I definitely do. I do. I do.